Good evening, everyone, and welcome to my Midwinter Nights live stream. This is a balmy night of 19 degrees here in northern Ohio, and we're supposed to get quite a bit of snow later this evening. So it's not really fit for anything other than to fire up the computer and have a live stream. And I wanted to start things off this evening by saying thanks to everyone. By the way, if you tuned in to my premiere video this morning, I have to apologize. I intended to be there and I had something come up at the last second and I wasn't able to make it. So any of you that tuned into that, thank you for watching, but I just couldn't make it there in order to participate today. So far today, we got Pistol Pete joining us. Thank you. Jean Villain, I'm not sure how you pronounce your last name, but thank you for joining. Jack Garrett, howdy. Mike Lake, hello. Wade, hello. And Wild West Services, 2 degrees in Texas. Wow, that's cold down there. I know years ago when I was in San Antonio, it dropped a little below, I think, 70 degrees one day, and everyone there thought they were freezing. So 2 degrees in Texas is quite a low temperature. Pistol Pete watching some videos of that new Walther PDP. Looks like a nice pistol. And Walther typically makes good firearms. There haven't been any that I can think of that I've handled over the years that I really didn't care for. Dexum 2010 says, hey, everyone. Hi, thanks for joining us. Wax Factory is here from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for joining. And Joe Morgan is here. Joe, I hope you're doing well, and also I hope your father's doing fine. As usual with my live streams, I don't have anything planned out tonight. Mainly just trying to answer questions any of you might have and get a dialogue going back and forth. So anyone that's got anything, Ben is here. Ben, hello. By the way, I hope you saw the new video today. I used your intro in it, and also your intro is going to be in the video on Saturday. So if you didn't see that yet, take a look at it. I thought it came out great. Thank you very much for putting that together for me. But as I was saying, I don't really have anything planned for this evening, mainly just trying to get a dialogue going back and forth. If any of you have some questions or some comments, go ahead and throw those out. I'll try to answer those as we go. As far as activity on the channel here lately, I don't know if you saw the announcement that I made last Saturday, but I've got some changes coming up in my life. Dale Kidd is here. Hey, Dale. When is the big transition? March 1st. I'm staying in my current role until February 28th. On March 1st, everything changes over, and I start the new job that day. So I'm kind of eagerly anticipating that. One of the things that I wanted to get out there this evening is I don't know just exactly what my hours are going to be that I'm going to be working after March 1st. So you might see some deviation in the schedule of the videos being posted. I don't know. Maybe they'll stay the same. I just don't know yet. But if I miss a Wednesday or miss a Saturday, don't panic. I'm still planning on continuing to post videos, but I might just have a little bit of transition time here till I get used to my new schedule and actually start to post again. Let's see. Wild West saw the intro this morning and thought it was great. Thank you. And Ben saw it too. Good. I'm glad you saw it. I hope you liked it. And Ben throws out there, oh, by the way, if you don't know, Ben is my son. He's the one that recorded and mixed all of that music in the intro this morning. And he is saying that he appreciates the nice words from everyone who commented on it. And there were a lot of people that commented, so thank you very much from me as well. Ray Scott, thoughts on CZ purchasing Colt? I got that question the last time we had a live stream. I think it could be a good thing. I think if they get some more money going into Colt and maybe start to get some energy back into the company and they start to move things out, that could be a real good thing for Colt. I hope so. I hope that company continues to do well. Kathleen is here. Walther issued a new pistol just like their old pistol. Although I think the new one's got a steel frame if I saw that correctly. So a little bit of a change there. East Coast Watch, thank you for the well wishes. Kathleen Jones saying, congrats, Chief. Thank you very much. Pistol Pete says he sees it as helping Colt, and I think it could. I really hope that it does. I want Colt to do well. Brody Okay, Bufiu. Sorry if I mispronounce your names. I'll apologize ahead of time. Live in Wisconsin, but then everyone else in the country has to deal with what they have to go through yet. And I actually went to Wisconsin years ago when I was in the Marine Corps for cold weather training. So I know you get some cold weather up there, particularly in the northern parts of the state. So yeah, the rest of the country gets to share in that along with you this week. Jeff Tim is here. How you doing, Jeff? Glad you made it. Joe Morgan says he thinks this is so they can import post-ban parts. Hot 8 is here. Thank you for joining us. Ben is saying the footage used for the video or for the intro is awesome. Good. I'm glad you liked it. DEXM says, did you have any particular brand of shooting rest that you like to use when zeroing your rifles? Not really a particular brand of any kind. I tend to use whatever I can, sandbags or what have you, when I'm zeroing. Or sometimes, depending on the rifle I'm using, I might be shooting it prone with a sling. Chase Kelly says, hi, Howard. Hope you and the family are doing well. And we are. Trying to stay warm this evening. Warsaw Patriot, getting sick and tired of people subscribed to talking about Biden's gun control. Yeah, and we'll try to stay away from politics this evening because that does get draining. So to the degree we can, we'll keep this on firearms and keep it on hopefully fun and entertaining things that we can all discuss. Hot 8, being a cold armor, hope it continues. Absolutely. Michael Olive. Any thoughts or advice on someone wanting to learn the art of reloading? Yes, I would say research it as best you can. If you know someone that already hand loads, that may be a good resource, but be a little careful. Get yourself a good reloading manual, or preferably 2 or 3 good reloading manuals, and read those, read the information in there, because there's a lot of good things in the manuals to help keep you out of trouble. Stick to the manuals. If you see something online that greatly exceeds something you see in the manuals, I would avoid that and stick to the manuals, because they do have a margin of safety built in there. And Talking Rock, Colt needs better management, not funds. They could probably use some of both, truthfully. Pirate Bob is here. How are you doing this evening, Bob? Kevin Jung says, hi, y'all. How you doing, Kevin? Tad is here, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his whole name. Says, good evening from Salt Lake City. Got hit with enough snow today to stay home from work. Really? Well, good. I'm glad you joined us this evening. Joe Morgan is complimenting Ben on the intro. And Rikasbringer, sorry, I'm probably not pronouncing that right. 2A rally in Phoenix this Saturday. Good. I was not aware of that. Kathleen, music lover, what's your favorite pistol lately? Wow, my favorite pistol. Whenever anyone asks me for a favorite firearm of any sort, it's very difficult for me because I usually have several. Probably my favorite one lately would be my new Smith & Wesson 469 that I got for Christmas. I really like that pistol. If you don't know, I'm a big fan of the traditional Smith & Wesson semi-autos, and that's a good one. So I really like that 469. Let's see, where were we? Brody is saying Wyndham Weaponry is a good manufacturer is Wyndham Weaponry a good manufacturer compared to other ARs? Yes, they are. Very good manufacturer. If you don't know, Wyndham Weaponry used to be Bushmaster. And when Remington bought Bushmaster and moved everything to the Remington factory, Wyndham Weaponry took over the old Bushmaster factory. They brought a lot of the employees back, and they're making very good ARs. So I really like Wyndham Weaponry firearms, and I think you can get yourself something really good from them. Talking Rock says it's late to the party for reloading now. There are a lot of components that are very difficult to find currently. Jeff is saying he's the artist formerly known as GCJT. So if anybody doesn't know, that's Jeff from Florida joining us. Matt C says, hello all. Thanks for your service, Chief. You're welcome. And I keep saying the honor has been all mine. Happy to catch you live. Been carrying a Sigma M11 A1 recently and loving it. I got to get a hold of one of the SIGs one of these days. I'd like to try one of the M17s or M18s, and I've handled them, but I haven't shot one yet. So I really do want to get a hold of one of those and try them out. Jonathan P. Hey there, HR. Out of work in Tennessee. That's too bad. Hopefully that changes for you pretty soon. I don't like to hear that anyone's out of work. JT is here. Just grabbed a P365 XL. Sweet shooter. Good. Pistol Pete agrees that Wyndham weaponry is a fine choice. And JT, thank you for responding to every comment I make on your videos. You're welcome. And I try to respond to the vast majority of comments that I get. I do read them all. And sometimes I'll get a comment that there's really not much that I can add to or can't really say much to. And I might just give it a thumbs up. But usually I try to respond to all of them. I think if someone takes the time to post a comment on one of my videos, they really deserve a response. So I try to do that. And let me go back down here to see where we were. It's bad when the 45 gap is sold out. I agree. Wild West says Taurus has a can on the way. I did not know that. And Matt C, any Masada updates? Yes. I think you're going to be seeing the Masada again very soon. Finally, that optic that I've been waiting for a long time is supposed to be on its way here. So you'll probably see a video with me mounting it to the Masada and taking a look at exactly how that Masada mounting system works. Then you'll see it out on the range and see how it actually is shooting again. So I think you're going to be seeing the Masada very soon. Nerd Gaming, did I miss tonight's replica? No, I actually didn't produce a replica as of yet. That could change. James Bond, greetings from very cold and frozen Mississippi. Really? Wow, it's cold down in the southern part of the United States. That's too bad. Warner Art Productions, Trump 2024. We can only hope. Louis LaRose, greetings from Canada, everyone. Just came to the house and found the live stream. Thanks for joining us, Louis. Appreciate you joining in. Jeremy Whitehill, Remington was bought by Roundhill Group. And I hope that they're able to bring Remington back and reestablish what was once a great firearms manufacturer here in this country. If you saw the video that I did a while back that I called Remington's Requiem, I sort of lamented their passing. And I really would like to see them rise from their ashes and come back to be a good firearms manufacturer once again. Matt C, awesome. Just wanted to hear. Okay, good. Mike Lake likes his 469, great balance and firepower. And my 469, I don't know if you saw the video, but it's a limited edition with a satin nickel finish, and it's just cool. I really like that pistol. In fact, I was just carrying it again yesterday. Tad is saying, planning on getting a new firearm with your tax return? Good. I can't think of anything better to do with tax returns or stimulus checks. Trying to limit yourself to one option, but too many good options. Dale Kidd is saying, not good news up in Canada this week. The government just introduced a new gun control bill. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. So overreaching that it even bans paintball and airsoft guns. Yeah, because there are so many paintball guns and airsoft guns that are used in crimes. That's unfortunate. JT, thumbs up for the M17 if you want the current service pistol, but there are other high-end options. The P3 in the P320 lineup. Yeah, and I've seen some of those, and Yeah, one of these days, like I said, I really want to get a hold of one of those and try them out, either a P320 or the M17 or M18. Pistol Pete, heard Rush Limbaugh passed away today. That is true. I was listening to the show today. I tuned in at noon, and when I heard them introduce his wife, Catherine Limbaugh, I had a sinking feeling, and she came on and made the announcement that Rush had passed away. So I feel kind of like I lost a friend. I've been listening to his show very, very regularly for the last 30 years, and it's just unfortunate that he's not going to be there for us anymore. Matt C., stay strong, Canada. You're all welcome in North Carolina anytime. Joe Morgan's going to use his tax return for gun stuff. That's good. Tad's saying getting Remington ammo back online. And Remington ammo is back online, I think. At least I'm getting email advertisements from them pretty routinely. Ben is saying a new guitar is competing for his tax return money. So you guys might hear some music coming up from Ben on his new guitar. Dale Davis is here, says hello. Hello to you, Dale. And John Diss made it. Good. Torben Norski, greetings from Eastern Washington. I'm glad you made it. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy your channel so much. Thank you. Reichesbringer needs a Remington 30. Need Remington 3030. And yeah, it's funny because I was just talking to somebody earlier today, ERJG, who you might recognize from past comments in the videos and also on the live stream. But he was just talking about how difficult it is to find any rifle ammunition out there. So it's like everything is just gone at the moment. Ben is saying his gun collection is sorely lacking. So he's going to have some decisions to make when that tax return money comes in. Pistol Pete says to buy any gun that comes with 1,000 rounds of 9mm, even a Glock. Brian Lee is here. Hello, Brian. Thanks for joining. Sorry to hear about Rush. Yeah, that's really too bad, just to think that he's not going to be there anymore. And for years and years, from noon to 3, I always knew if I looked up at the clock and saw it was somewhere between there, whatever I was doing, I could turn on the radio and Rush would be there. I could listen to the issues of the day that he was discussing. It's just hard to believe he's not going to be there anymore. Kathleen really likes her P09. Good. Good. And just trying to catch up down in the feed here. And Gary Wood says, sorry, got busy and didn't get back to you. And that message just disappeared for some reason. There's been some strange things happening with YouTube here lately, too. And I should have mentioned this a little while ago when I was talking about comments coming in. I will get comments that come across my email or they come across the notices on my phone. And when I click on them and go back to YouTube to try to respond to them, they're just gone. And I don't know why. I don't know what's causing those to disappear. But if you ever post a comment that you're expecting a reply to and you don't get one, repost your comment, because it could be that was one of the ones that just vanished and I couldn't reply to it. Jack Garrett, did you get the hammer issue worked out with the Ruger Bisley 44 Special? Not really. I've been continuing to work with that revolver and trying to see if it's going to smooth up on its own. And I think it has to some degree, but I've not actually taken the steps to send it anywhere or get it worked on. I did take it completely apart to see if there was anything inside. And I think I didn't find anything wrong, but I tried to reassemble it properly and lube it a little bit. And it seemed like that helped some. Brian Lee, have you ever had a 4440 pistol or rifle? No, I haven't. I have not. Ben is saying that some of his earliest memories are hearing My City Was Gone at the beginning of Rush's show. Joe Morgan is saying YouTube, they were actively censoring people every time. I'm missing something there. Censoring people in lives. I think he's saying they were censoring people in live chats. So, these are not actually the live chats. These are actually comments coming in on the videos that just vanish for some reason, and I don't know why. Torben is asking, are you worried about your channel being canceled? Yes, I am, as a matter of fact. It's one of those things that I just never know if I post something or if there's a complaint or a strike or something like that, if I might wake up one day and it's just all gone. If that ever happens, if you ever go to tune into my channel or look for my videos and they're just gone, that might be an indication that YouTube finally decided to do away with my channel. So that won't be something that happens on my end. Mark Goosetree, been watching your Hawken videos and working on a parts pile that should be a Hawken. Thanks for your videos. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. And I hope you get that rifle finished. They're just fun to shoot. The muzzle loaders, and I've talked about this before, whether it's the Hawkins or any of the rifles, or if it's the cap and ball pistols, the black powder firearms are just fun. It's a very relaxing type of shooting. And it's type of shooting I wish I had more time for. Tad is saying, got to seeing the mess Texas has collapsed into has really driven home the need to make sure that his home is prepared for extreme weather. And I think that's probably a lesson that all of us could take. Jeff is saying that suddenly had his account shifted to his Google ID. Yeah, there's just weird stuff that's going on out there. Jeremy Whitehall likes the 3840 better than the 4440. JT, you ever watch the show Handmaid's Tale? No. I think I watched about 10 minutes of that one time and I couldn't stand it. So that was as much of it as I ever saw. Talking Rock, cancel culture, or thoughts on police work, HR. Police work is still an incredibly honorable profession. It's one that I liken it to a calling like a priest would have for anyone that's drawn to it. But it's also one that's currently under fire, and there is not the backing there nationwide from a lot of our society. There's still a lot of people that very much do support the police, and we appreciate that, believe me. But it's just a different world out there today, and it's one that I'm worried about the younger officers coming into police work these days and exactly what they're going to be dealing with during their career and what the career is ultimately going to turn into. And now I completely lost where I was. And Joe is saying that YouTube eats the comments, and that could well be. Tom Truesdale is here. Thanks for joining us, Tom. Matt C. Will we have a way to find you if your YouTube channel disappears? Currently, I'm still on Twitter, but I got to tell you, I've been underwhelmed with Twitter. I've been using that now for several months, and I tried it as an experiment, and I just don't really get that much interaction there. I've thought about canceling that particular account, but at least for the time being, I'm still on Twitter. So if you wake up and you don't find me here, look for me over there, and there will probably be some kind of information about what's going on. 2 subs says, congrats on retirement. Thank you. Steve Detweiler is here saying hi from Fort Worth, Texas. Thanks for joining us, Steve. Has electric and water restored there? Good. Gary Wood enjoyed the day on the job video, and I'm glad you did. That was one that I think I said in the video that I recorded that way back during the summer, and for various reasons I didn't post it. And then recently I thought that it would be a good way to showcase the things that I did along with the video announcing that I was going to be changing to a new job. And now I got to find where I was again. Jack Garrett has a Hawken flintlock. Good. It's his absolute favorite, and I'm sure that's a lot of fun to shoot. I need to get a flintlock one of these days. Steve Detweiler went 48 hours without electricity and water. Craig Benz says, time for black powder. Yeah, and I've got some black powder. I've got some of the components, so maybe there'll be a black powder video coming up in the near future. SJR, have you thought about posting over on Rumble? Yeah, I've looked at some of the other services out there. I've never actually posted anything anywhere else. If it comes to it, I might do that. I do have most of my videos still stored on this hard drive, so I could repost them if I needed to. But so far, I just haven't started to do that yet. There are various reasons that I have not, but that could become something in the future that I need to do. Catch Jitsu is here. Dan the Wolfman has joined us. By the way, isn't that a cool nickname, Dan the Wolfman? And if you ever watch Dan's videos, he's a big muscular guy, got thick black hair, or at least dark hair. Then that Dan the Wolfman name just fits. So I always think that's a cool nickname. Mixed martial artist, or at least used to be a mixed martial arts competitor. So check out Dan's videos. They're a lot of fun. Let's see, where was I? Tom Truesdale says he agrees about policing may or may not turn into, or what it may or may not turn into in the coming years. Yeah, I mean, with the things that are being tossed around out there about, having social workers ride with police officers and stuff like that, it's just, it's just amazing to see where we are today as compared to where we were when I started back in the late 1980s. It's just kind of a night and day difference. Steve Detweiler saying back the blue. Thanks, Steve. Kathleen says the dog ate my comments. Torben is asking, what distance do you sight in your self-defense sidearm? I like my handgun sighted in at 25 yards. That's kind of the traditional distance, except for maybe the really small ones, something like the, the Springfield Armory Hellcat. That might be something more like 15 yards or thereabouts, but anything, holster size, duty type firearm, I like sighted in at 25 yards. Jeff saying he dropped Twitter because too many failures to post. Sean Keel, good evening from Tucson. Good evening, Sean. Thank you for joining us. Ben liked the day on the job video too. Good. Steve Detweiler thinks I should keep Twitter even if I don't use it. And I am keeping it for now. It's just, like I said, I feel like I'm not getting a lot out of it, but at least for the time being, I still have the account. Jeff liked the day on the job video too. Good. Saying check my liability insurance for the new job. Will do. Did you already describe your new job? No, I didn't. And I have to be a little guarded with what I say because I haven't gotten any kind of permission from my new employers to say exactly what it is that I'm doing or where I'm going to be working or specifically what my duties are going to be. I guess what I can say is it is an armed security position providing security for a particular at-risk community, and I can't really say much more than that, at least currently. Maybe I can say more about that in the future. But in a way, I feel like it's something that I've trained for my entire life between my time in the Marine Corps, my time as a police officer. So it's something I'm looking forward to. And my lovely wife has just joined us. So she is coming in. I'm going to move something so she can sit down. Everyone can say hi to Mimi. And you saw her hand anyway. Hand and an eye. And again, I got to find where I was on here. Dan the Wolfman, haven't yet watched the full retirement video. Did you talk about family, what you'd be doing, etc., protection for a family? A little bit, but like I said, I haven't gone into a lot of detail just because I don't have authorization to do that as of yet. And maybe I will in the future, Rebecca, and I tell you exactly what I'm doing, but I just don't have that now. Is there still a law on 1 pound of black powder? Not that I'm aware of. Tom Truesdale, black powder is fun, but kind of messy. Yeah, it's a little messy, but a lot of things that are fun are kind of messy. Basically, YouTube is the public square now that they wait a second. Square now that they claim 20, they were gifted. Must be in 2020 that they were gifted to win. You're losing me, Joe. I'm having a hard time understanding that. John Diss, what is your favorite soft drink soda? Probably Coke Zero that I'm drinking right here. So I'm trying to use this so I don't lose my voice. Another Tom is joining us, says hello. Thanks for joining us, Tom. DEXM, as far as self-defense rounds in your duty carry pistol, how many rounds do you roughly think that you should put through your pistol to ensure that it will function reliably? 100 rounds is a pretty good test. You know, some people don't feel good till they've got 500 rounds or 1,000, but if you have 100 rounds go through a pistol and it's not malfunctioned and everything's working properly, I feel pretty comfortable with that. Sierra 250 says, hi, HR. First time on your live stream. Love your videos. Thank you. Thanks for watching. I appreciate that. Paul Autry thought the day on the job video was marvelous. Thanks, Paul. I'm glad you liked it. And that was one that I really enjoyed, showing everybody an authentic look at what small town police work is. You know, it's not quite Andy Griffith, but it's certainly not cops. You know, it's somewhere in between. You know, and there are certain days. You know, we had a situation just the other day where there was a armed individual just outside of our village, and my officers were out there helping out with that. It was a barricade situation. So we do have those kind of days, just like the larger jurisdictions. And then we have a lot of days where it's pretty quiet. So like police work everywhere, you just never know what might happen from one day to the next. Tad says, seems a huge problem with police is the growing gap between officers and their communities. Too many departments view their citizens as the enemy, while too many citizens view cops as the bad guys. I agree with you, Tad. And it's one of those situations where a little bit of, I guess, humility on the part of some officers would be helpful. A measure of professionalism, adherence to their oath, and recognition that really we do work for the people in the community that pay our salaries. And that sounds like a cliche, but it's true. And we have to be mindful of that. We have to be responsive to the people in the community that we're there to serve. Dan the Wolfman is saying, thanks, HR. Appreciate it. New best 5 carry pistols. And I watched that. I actually watched that this morning when I was getting dressed for work. And I enjoyed it. It took forever to edit. I'll bet it did. Werewolf of London was playing the first day. Well, that's where you got the Dan the Wolfman from, was Werewolf of London. That's pretty funny. Tom Truesdale says, OPSEC, HR, Ops. Yep, I'm trying to be careful. Alfonso is here. Greetings from El Paso, Texas. Thanks for joining us, Alfonso. Tom Truesdale saying, hello, Mrs. Funk. Tom is saying hi to you.
I'm not Mrs. Funk.
I actually knew Tom's brother when I was in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he worked for NIS over there. Yeah.
Wow.
Long time ago. A lot of water under the bridge since those days. Let's see. Jeff is saying, "Hi, Mimi. Why are vloggers' wives so shy?" I would call my wife a lot of things. Shy is not one of them. Ben is saying, "Hi, Mimi."
Hi.
Ken Kaufman, are you a knife guy as well as a gun guy? Not nearly to the degree that I am. Actually, my favorite knives are Victorinox Swiss Army knives, and I've got a small collection of those. And I like them because they're so handy, and I use them as tools all the time for all kinds of different things. But as far as knives, just for the sake of knives, I'm not nearly as much into those as I am firearms. And ERJG is here, and he is saying Mimi's looking great holding an AR-15. He saw a picture of that the other day on Facebook. So. Yes, my wife got a Bushmaster AR-15 as a Valentine's Day gift. So nothing says I love you like an AR-15. Keep that in mind, guys.
I thought you said it wasn't an AR-15.
Let's see. Where was I on here? Dale Kidd says bourbon is better for the voice than soda. I know, but I don't want to start slurring my words and sounding like I don't know what I'm talking about, which I might sound like I don't know what I'm talking about anyway, but I thought it'd be better off to stick with the Coke Zero tonight. John Rhee is here joining us from Guam. Thanks for joining in, John. Appreciate you. Jack Garrett, how do you like the Bond Arms Derringers? My dad's got one of those, and I think they're kind of neat. If you're comfortable with just a 2-shot firearm, they're certainly reliable and well-made little firearms. They've also got that new semi-auto pistol. I say new, it's a couple of years old now. But that thing is kind of interesting, but it's also pretty darn expensive, that bullpup pistol they make. I'd really like to shoot one of those sometime just to see what it's like, but so far I've only ever handled them at the NRA annual meeting. I've never actually had one on a range to be able to shoot it. Nerd Gaming Nerd, funniest call. Wow. You got to keep in mind that my career goes back to the mid 1980s. So, trying to come up with the funniest call off the top of my head is difficult. There are various ones come to mind with, squirrels chasing police officers and fighting with bats in houses. Anytime you mix cops and animals, it's usually going to be good for a funny story. Fighting with naked 16-year-old girls, there's another one. So just, you just never know. Some things probably better off that I don't talk about online too. So just rest assured there have been some pretty funny calls. Jeremy Whitehall, his great-grandpa shot a fire extinguisher full of gunpowder. Wait a second, what? Your great-grandpa shot a fire extinguisher full of gunpowder, and the local college thought that a plane crashed because the seismograph picked up the blast. Dale's Guitar Channel says, love the channel, HR. Thank you. Or excuse me, Dave's Guitar Channel. Thank you, Dave. Jeff says, on Small Town Law, growing up, we had an officer named Jim, I guess that's Cowles. Went to school with his son. He never made chief, so we elected him mayor twice. Well, I hope he was a good mayor. Brian Lee says, I think too many people don't have the proper respect for authority. Too many people don't have respect for all sorts of people, not just authority. Just, being polite, being respectful is something that's fading away in our society, and that's too bad. Joe Morgan, very cool. Love the XM15. Yep, and that's exactly what I got her, was a Bushmaster XM15. Let's see, Kathleen, music lover. So said you had a daughter and your son is here. Did you have more kids? Well, I guess the short answer to that is yes, but my son and daughter are the ones that are here now. Ben says he's due for an AR-15. Throwing a little bit of hint there for next birthday coming around. Pistol Pete, what's your biggest tip for keeping the weight off after your weight? Just basically sticking to your eating plan. A lot of people think that if they have one big meal, they've blown their diet and they may as well just give up and all that. That's not any more true than if you go one day without eating that you will realize any substantial weight loss. It's really just maintaining what you're doing over time, and that seems to be what's worked best for me. Matus Fakeman, what do you think of the current power outages in Texas, and power prices are going crazy? I only know what I've heard in the news, and what I've heard in the news isn't good. And as I understand it, it has to do with transitioning Texas over to a lot of wind power and things like that. I don't know that I'm really qualified to comment on that, other than I hope the situation gets worked out quickly and all those folks in Texas get their power back. Joe Palu is saying that he got a notice from CMP today. I got that yesterday, the one with all the advertisers in it. I thought it was a little odd because there was no real message there other than looking forward to seeing you this year. But I got that same notice. Brian Daniels, how has the ammo shortage affected your department and your new job? So far, it hasn't affected my department too much because we had a little bit of a stockpile of ammunition, but I'm worried about when that stockpile finally runs out, what we're going to be looking at trying to replace our ammunition. I'm hoping to weather this storm and that maybe the ammunition has started to come back by the time that we need to order more. Brody is saying, how about a Gerber Bowie knife? I don't have any problem with a Gerber Bowie knife, so I think it's just fine. Oh, by the way, I'll show you guys this. My officers got me this for. Can you hand me the knife up there? Going on the side, see. My officers got me this for a Christmas present a while back, and I'll show all this, or show it to all of you.
Of course, you're hanging it with.
Well, don't worry about that. So, how cool is this? With a Damascus steel blade. This is custom made. One of my officers has a friend in California that made this, and I think that's pretty cool. So I've got it hanging in here in my home office right now, but I like that. And I'm going to try not to cut myself as I put that back down there. Tom Truesdale says arresting naked people are not. Yeah, when I was fighting with the naked 16-year-old girl, I was watching my career flash before my eyes. I was sure that I was just done after that. But fortunately, I made it through pretty much unscathed, at least physically. And now I got to look back and figure out where I was. Catchjitsu.com. Dan the Wolfman shot 30 rounds from his friend's new red dot pistol. It says it was like cheating. Good. And I've got that new red dot that's going to be coming very soon. I'm going to be putting that on the Masada that I mentioned earlier. So watch for that coming up in the near future. Brian Daniels, where did you work previously? Do you have urban law enforcement experience? I worked most of my career, which was 23 years of my 36-year career. I worked for a medium-sized city here in Ohio. So I guess call that urban. It is a city, and managed to have quite a bit of quite a few interesting experiences over the years with that department. Let's see. Ray Chandler is saying, what's your outlook on I just lost it, on the NRA's apparent nefarious situation? I hope the NRA gets everything worked out and gets back to being the organization that we all want it to be. It's a little bit of a tumultuous time, I guess, watching everything going on with that, especially when we got the new presidential administration coming in, and comments are being made by that individual with regard to doing away with the NRA and all that kind of thing. So I really hope the NRA comes back and gets back to being that strong organization that is working for us, that it has been in the past and hopefully will be again. And I'm just going to run down through here quick. Art Grote is here. Thanks for joining us, Art. Ben saying that wasn't his intent. Sure, it wasn't. Dale Kid, too many people today don't respect anything, starting with themselves. I agree with you, Dale. Tad is saying, is the M1A M14 rifle worth it? It's one of those rifles that you're considering. I suppose a lot of that depends on you. I really like my M14s or my M1As that I have. I like the platform, and it's one that I enjoy owning. I like shooting. I use them in competition. I use them for other types of shooting. So it's worth it for me to own. Now, whether it's worth it for you to own, I can't really answer that for you. It just kind of depends on the type of shooting you like to do and whether it's worth making that investment to you. Rich Powers is here, says he's sorry for being late. That's okay, Rich. I'm just glad you're here. Ben has found a kindred spirit with Dave's Guitar Channel. Creative Tradesman, what do you think is a fair price for a CMP certified M1 Garand in service? I think it's supposed to be service grade quality. The things are going up and up and up. When I bought mine, it was a CMP special, and at that time I paid a little over $900 for it. That was back in like 2013. I believe they're up over $1,000 now, getting them directly from CMP. If you get some of the other ones, and when I've been up to the North Store here over the last few years, they don't have very many. If you can get one of the CMP specials, which is one of the ones that's essentially a new rifle, it's one that they've built out of parts up there, and you get it for somewhere between $1,000 and $1,100. I think that's pretty much what they're going for. They had some of the M1 Cs, the sniper version of the M1s. Those things were up, a couple of $1,000s, as I recall. So they're really going up in price. So if you find one for $1,000 or less, that's a pretty good deal. Steve Detweiler said the wind turbines are down due to the extreme weather, and they're one of the biggest fossil fuel providers. And that's what I heard, with Texas, with all the oil and everything, but they've switched everything over to wind power. And now, because of the weather they've been having, that's causing problems with the wind turbines. So again, I hope that all gets straightened out for you down in Texas. Tom likes the knife. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, a lot of people like the knife. Cool. Well, thank you. Yeah, and I really like that. That was something that my officers got me, like I said, for Christmas, and I really appreciated that. Jack Garrett says it looks like a Jason knife. No, the Jason knife is the great big kitchen knife. That's always the one that when they flash to that scene, got a $5 donation from Warm Ham. Thank you. From Piqua, Ohio. Any possibility of a video on Turkish M98 rifles? There's always a possibility. I don't have one currently, but you never know what I might come up with eventually to put on the channel. So you never know. Stay tuned. And again, thanks for the donation. But no, Jason always used the big kitchen knife, and they would show the scene where they would flash through the kitchen and you would see the knife block. And the biggest slot on the knife block was always the one that was empty, so you knew which knife Jason was going to have. And now I got to find where it was again. Otter, how do you deal with stress from work?
We drink.
Mimi's chiming in. She's telling on me. No, various ways, just trying to get away from the things that go on there. Spending time with family. One of the things I do is help teach a karate class during the week. That's one of the things that helps out some. So just various things over the years. What do you think causes the ammo shortages to happen? That is a darn good question, Gizmo, and I don't know. It's just kind of amazing that it just evaporates and it's just gone. And according to the factories, they're churning the stuff out as fast as they possibly can, but it doesn't make it to the shelves. So I don't have a good explanation for that. And another $2 donation from West Coast Chicano. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And thanks also for all the comments. That's another person that comments a lot on my videos, and I appreciate that. Batus Fakeman, looks like he's talking to Steve Detweiler, so I'll just keep on going. Have you had a chance to handle the CZ P07? I have. I've never shot one, but I have handled them, and I've also handled a P09. One of these days, maybe I'll get around to shooting those, and I can tell you more about them. Please support GOA and FPC instead of the NRA, at least until Wayne LaPierre leaves. Dale Kids is a lousy time for the NRA to be in such a flux. They're needed right now, absolutely. And that it's interesting. Someone from Canada is talking about the NRA, even though they don't really help you folks out up there. But you're right, we definitely need them here. And Dexum 2010, remember seeing the Shotgun News ads for $500 M1 Garand? Yeah, those days are gone. Back in 2005 or 2006. This guy emanates really big, wholesome old man vibes. Well, definitely old man vibes. I don't know about the rest of it. Will you yourself comply with illegal, unconstitutional gun laws? I don't like to speculate on, hypothetical things in the future. Who knows what what might be proposed or how it might come about. If I think it's truly unconstitutional, then no, probably not. Steve Detweiler, let's see. Give us Texans 100-degree stretch and then severe cold stuff, and we're ill-prepared. Yeah, I seem to remember some 100-degree days when I was down in San Antonio. I remember being fairly warm there. Matt C. is very thankful. He bought a Yugoslavian M48 Mauser for $450. Wow. How many states do we still have to do shooting tests? 4. And off the top of my head, they are, let's see, off the top of my head, I can't remember. I've got 4 to go still. Once the weather gets decent out again, and I go back out and finish up that series. And I do want to finish that up, so that'll be coming. Randy Simmons says hello from Florida. Hello, Randy. Nerd Gaming Nerd, the way I understand it is there was a surplus of ammo sitting in the warehouses from 2012. New ammo was, I think that's supposed to be scarce, and there's no surplus anymore. No, I believe that's true. I think anything that was in a warehouse anywhere is gone. Canada's trying to outlaw airsoft guns because they're gateway guns. That's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Dale Kidd is saying the worst things for American gun owners, the bolder our Canadian anti-gun politicians get. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, anti-gun politicians take their cue from anybody else that sings the same tune. So whether they're in Canada or wherever, that's, yeah, birds of a feather and all that. Tom Truesdale, anybody remember barrels of surplus World War II rifles in gun stores and hardware stores back in the 60s and 70s? I remember a hardware store here that I don't know where they got them. This was back somewhere in the late 1980s, I think. They got a bunch of 30 carbines and they were selling them for next to nothing. And man, I wish I'd have bought one of those things. Jeff says, would you youngins stop complaining about age? Creative tradesman, worth it to relocate over gun laws in a state? If the gun laws all of a sudden became restrictive in Ohio, do you think that it would be enough to force you to relocate considering this yourself? I probably. I mean, if it got to the point where I just didn't feel like I could enjoy my firearms anymore, that would probably be something I would consider. Fortunately, Ohio is pretty firearms friendly, at least for the moment. Hopefully it'll stay that way. Joe Morgan thinks fun will be outlawed next. Maybe. Hod 8 is leaving us. Have a good night, Hod. Thanks for coming along. Warm Ham got his Turkish M98 for $300 without the cleaning rod. Anytime you get a good rifle for $300, you're doing well. Does your new boss know you're a YouTube phenomenon? They are aware of my channel. I don't know how much they watch it, but they are definitely aware it exists. By the way, I don't know if I would say YouTube phenomenon. Can't wait to see how Democrats come about outlawing 3D printing. Who knows? And I'm just working my way down through the feed right now. A lot of conversations going on amongst all of you. So I'm just trying to find the ones that are directed more toward me. Brody is saying Corona Karens are like the NKVD or Gestapo, and they're in elected offices. Pistol Pete, my Daisy 881 is not a gateway gun. Matt C. Gander Mountain had Mosins for $150. I remember a few years ago, not really all that far back, maybe 10 years ago, Mosins were selling for what, $75 or something like that. They imported a whole bunch of them. And I'm not sure what they're going for these days. And so, yeah, Brian Daniels got an SKS for $75. I remember those. I remember those at the gun shows back in the mid 1990s. And like you said, for $75, I think I saw a few of them even less expensive than that. A bunch of people bought those things. Derek Johnston, good luck in your future endeavors. Thank you. Thanks, Derek. I appreciate that. Let's see. Warm Ham, Gun Runner in Monroe, Ohio is a magical place. Got an FAL in good condition for $600. Derek Johnson, hope you keep up the content. By the way, just watched The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance because of your video. Isn't that a good movie? I really like that movie. It's one of my all-time favorites. Pine09, hey, Corporal Funk from Vendors Row. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate that. And you're still watching. Good. And I still remember talking to you up there. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Jeff Sams remembers the SKSs for $75. Tom Truesdale bought 2 SKSs for $150 back in the day. Derek Johnson likes that movie. All right, gang, we've been at it for about an hour here. In fact, it just rolled over 1 hour. So I think I'm going to get ready to wrap things up. But I appreciate you all joining for my Midwinter Nights live stream. I say this at the end of every live stream, but I really, really appreciate all the support and all the feedback that I get from all of you. You all and the interaction that I have with all of you are the reason that I keep posting these videos and the reason I keep doing the live streams. So thank you very much. I hope you all stay safe, stay warm. Hope the lights all come back on down in Texas, and we'll do this again someday. Oh, by the way, Saturday morning, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we'll have the regular premiere video, and I'll be here to participate with that, with the premiere live chat. So if any of you can join us, definitely do so. And until next time, y'all take care and good shooting. Bye-bye.